Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... We have another double feature for today because, I feel like I not need to get through the Gacha Fest playlist, but I also need to just catch up in general because I've had so many days off as far as reviews go. So with that in mind, then again, this probably will also be relatively short on account of the fact that I have no guests, and also the two videos in question were doubled up because they collectively add up to about 6 minutes of running time. And they're also school-themed. That's also part of it. And one of them is the first that's on the list, which I guess makes it the first voice-acted gacha project of January that has been, I guess, found, I suppose. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see we'll see if that's true or not, but that's what... According to Gacha Fest, that is the case, at least as things stand right now. If that changes in the future, then we'll let you know. Well, I will probably. Mops will probably just update the playlist silently, and then we'll judge it accordingly. Anyway, enough rambling, because again, not like this is going to be a very particularly long video. From my end, nor from their end. But yeah, they're both school themed. That's what I said before. Beyond that, I'm not really sure about anything else to do with them. One of them claimed to have the longest description that the creator had ever written for something, even though that description only included like one sentence of actual describing and most of it was credits. So again, I don't think there's too much to go on from here, so I guess we'll just see what Starlight Academy and Hillside High are actually like, respectively. Starting off with Starlight Academy. If it will load. And show me the footage. Why is that not working? It was working before. Okay, let me just try reloading the video. Okay, here we go. Starlight Academy. Let's try that again.
Charlotte, how's your...
Oh, geez. Okay, already the background sounds are way too loud. The heads look like they've been shrunken by a wizard, and at least I'll say the teacher looks appropriately tall relative to the students, I suppose. But beyond that, my goodness.
our project going?
Well, I'm almost finished.
Well, there goes...
Okay, yeah, I feel like everything is definitely way too intense in this. Like the microphone are like, yes, I'm almost finished. Like, that feels like ASMR, but at normal volume. That's not what you want to like move away a little bit. You're not peaking, but you want to move away a little bit, actually, if that ever happens. As far as the designs actually go, shrunken heads aside, I mean, they definitely have that follow the more simplistic color scheme. I'm not sure about the outline, the blue outline of the collar that is in direct contrast with the rest of the blue outlines that don't stand out as much. In fact, none of the outlines on what presumably is part of the same like white component of the outfit actually match. That might be also because the outline is mixed with the blue for those particular sleeves in Gacha. That's possible. Although speaking of bright blues, I like the bright blue headphones, and also from the character on the far right. And of course, there's got to be at least one eye patch, classic. That's so tall. The girl on the far left is a giant. I think that's meant to be the teacher. So she's meant to be slightly taller. Mrs. Claire is supposed to be taller, I suppose, based on what's been going on. Oh, I also realized that there's a watermark at the top here for a handle on YouTube, which I guess I would have thought that'd be the same handle as. Yeah, as this channel, because the channel name is Lemon, with some. You know what? Actually, I can see it because the channel name has those like symbols that make it like impossible to find, basically. And just searching up the word lemon is also very bad for SEO purposes because you can find so many results before you actually filter out through the channels. Not very viable. So yeah, I guess promoting your actual handle is a good alternative to that. The problem is you're promoting a handle on a video that exists on your channel. Now, it's possible that this video is also on TikTok, and that's why there's the the dual watermark. I feel like rendering it twice with different watermarks would not be too much of an ask in that case, especially because on TikTok the aspect ratio is different, so you would want a different proportion. In fact, this entire video has not been made TikTok friendly because you've got the captions in the center here, way over where a 9:16 aspect ratio would actually allow you to see them, unless you shrink down the video, in which case people are not going to take it as seriously. And also all the extras are like on different sides. So yeah, again, not very viable at all. So if that was the intention, I don't think it's worked the way that it was supposed to. Not to mention, if you want to cut between the different characters, the watermark will also will disappear, if that is the case. If not, then there's no need to promote your own handle on your own channel, because people are on the channel to see it in the first place. Unless that was done specifically so that we, the Gacha Fest judges, would know where it's from, and when it's in the actual Gacha Fest, video, the actual Gacha Fest itself. If that's the case, I don't know, because I mean, Mops didn't announce. Well, I guess Gacha Fest 2025 happened, so I mean, I suppose it was knowledge at that point. It was like a bit of a for your consideration type of deal. That's possible, I suppose. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, and to which I would say, I reckon you probably would have that covered, because most of the time on like Gacha award shows, at least on my own as well, I try my best to like actually, show like, the name of the video on the channel in question, or name of the series and name of the channel. And I think on the Gacha Guild Awards, they also do that, like in the bottom corner. As for Gacha Fest itself, not really sure, but again, I'm sure that's an option, because you would have to give the credit to the people that you're awarding and say what you're awarding them for, which means they would have to know. You would have to like have some way of indicating that. So, yeah.
See you later, Charlotte.
Oh my goodness, moonwalking, and okay, I guess there's just a mannequin in the corner there. All right. Interesting. I guess that was meant to be like filled in with something, seeing as that's a custom pose, and there just wasn't. Just the creator just forgot, I suppose. Oh, is that a death note? Oh my.
Carl, this is so boring. Why don't we skip?
No thanks, I don't want to get another detention.
Guys, shut up. Miss S is coming.
Good morning, class.
Oh, I could actually hear. I think it was from the Pink Girl's microphone, the static in there, because I know that the crowd sounds cut out at the same time, but I think that it was coming from the microphone. But let's see.
Yes, remember we have our geography test today. You may use your textbook.
Sorry, I had to pause again because it went out of sync for me.
However, I suggest that you refrain from cheating, as if you are caught, it will be an immediate fail. Good luck. When you get your paper, please head to the exam hall.
Ah, she was more polite than the captions. Just said head to the exam hall, which interesting strategy. Normally, you head to the exam hall first, and then they hand you your papers, because they don't want people handling the papers before you get to the exam hall. I don't know why they would just give the papers to the students and then have them take the papers over rather than just giving them out. That would be way easier. I don't know. What did that say? They went to the exam hall, except for Gary. I don't know why. Well, if you don't know why, you wrote him.
So, Gary, are you gonna confess to her soon?
Well, I don't know if she likes me back.
Yeah, this is, by the way, is where
Isn't
is
that stupid?
static. Absolutely. Also, is the reason that is the reason that he didn't go to the exam hall so that he could mope in the library and talk to Kiara about a crush he's having. I mean, look, I've been there before, not in a library necessarily, but you know, I've definitely had, you know, the odd crush that has caused many a moping session, but never at the expense of an exam that I was going to do. Like, yeah, that could be on my mind at the time, but that's kind of inevitable. You still want to try to, you know, perform well on the exam. I'm too edgy. I must brood on the idea of someone. I don't know.
You're literally her type.
Don't know these people yet, so can't confirm. But I'll take your word for it.
You think so?
I don't think I know.
Emergency, emergency, this is a lockdown.
Okay, I know that Era's not here to appreciate this joke, but there's a show called Red Dwarf, and on that show they have it's about these characters that are like marooned in deep space, basically 3 million years into the future, on a ship that's called Red Dwarf. And on that ship, there is it is piloted by an AI that called Holly, that that actually has, like, you know, like a head form, because they found out that the actor that would good enough to do the voice was actually really good. And of course, because the character's an AI, it doesn't have, you know, like, you know, big like inflections or anything. So what he does instead, when there's like an emergency, he literally will just go, emergency, emergency, there's an emergency going on, it's still going on, like that. That's something my dad and I quote to each other frequently, in fact. TikTok voice guy. Yeah. Emergency, emergency, there is a lockdown going on. Yeah, one of those, exactly.
We should get to the back of the library.
This is
You know, that does raise a question now that I think about it, because I remember doing like lockdown drills in elementary school, and like, yeah, I said before, like, how ridiculous the idea of, like, you know, everyone hiding under the desks was, because, you know, why would somebody who entered to, you know, attack people, for example, if they not think to look under the desks? That would be the obvious hiding spot. But now that I think about it, what would you do if you were outside the classroom? Like, if you were in the library, actually, would you try to hide amongst the bookshelves? Would you just, like, try to find, like, the few desks that actually existed there? If I cast my mind back to my elementary school, there weren't really, like, that many tables in the library. There was, like, one, there was one, like, big, like, you know, long, like, bar counter table kind of thing. Not a bar counter, but I'm trying to, that's the best image I can have. And there was, like, you know, the few computers that existed there, because it was 2005. And that's really it. There's not enough room for, like, everyone. There was, like, a big, massive space otherwise. If anything, you'd have to try to, like, hide under the bean bags that they had for, you know, for the guests, like, storytellers, basically, and that was it. Especially the Amber Alert. I have never received an Amber Alert, so I don't know what those actually sound like, but I'm given to understand that they are not pleasant.
It's just another lockdown drill, right?
Unfortunately, not this time. This is a real lockdown. There could be a shooter. Or there could be not.
Okay, I didn't pause the video before we said that, so I feel like there was just a pause, like, there could be a shooter. Or they could not. Maybe the video just didn't load on my end, that's possible. Also, I feel bad for this you know, like, this rainbow color schemed girl here, because she's gonna stand out so much amongst the rest of this relatively normal crowd. I also like how, like, the lights have been dimmed slightly in here. I do acknowledge the fact that the saturation is down. It's just, again, poor rainbow girl. Oh no. Who else the drills we have? Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just with fire drills, of course you leave the building, yeah. True. exactly.
Imagine if we all died today. How funny would that be?
Hinata?
Hold on, was that be? She said like, how would that be funny? Was that what the line was? Wait a minute. How'd that? Oh, wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like that would be right. Wouldn't that be funny? Or because if you just say how funny, you have to add would that be? Okay, here's what I think might have happened. In there are two options here. Again, depends on if this had a script or not. If this had a script, I imagine that the VA read the line wrong, and then you know they didn't want to bother to go and redirect it, so the captions were already written, and this is the best they could do. That's why I don't write any captions before the videos come out. I know that I said that in the most recent Afmouse song, I might have rushed the captions on that one and forgotten to edit things out because a few things had to be changed from KW. But yeah, in general for gacha videos like this, I thought that, you know, if you're doing that, the script method, write the captions afterwards, just in case that does happen and you want to keep the take that is in there. If this was done the Alpha Sisters method, whereby you do all the captions first and then send the caption images to the voice actors, yeah, at that point you're gonna have to do a retake. You know, I feel like that's Wish I had the flicking lights. Oh yeah, I paused before on like a dimmer setting, but now it is brighter. So yeah, they are flicking. You're absolutely correct.
Hinata, now is not the time to joke.
To be fair, there's always one child that says something like that, so yeah, I kind of get that. Although I hate to break it to you, Hinata, you're first on the chopping block, I think.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die today.
Yeah, you sound so torn up about it.
Oh my god, why today?
Gosh, why today? I wish we could schedule this for like next week on Wednesday. That's where I prefer my death to be in the middle of the week. Duh. What was that delivery? This is definitely a project where the director did not ask for retakes, no matter what happens.
Worst time to be in halls.
That's another very good question, actually. What does happen if someone needs to get into a room because they're outside in the halls? Because yeah, if you think about it, you know, if you are dealing with a school shooter, they're not going to necessarily go classroom by classroom if they have targets that are there, unless they have specific targets. I don't know. I've fortunately not had to be in that mindset since I was doing a play about them, basically, and I had to like, you know, do like some sort of report on the matter. Aside from that, yeah, never considered that before, and that play was specifically targeting that particular group of students. So, you know, the motivation was very clear in that aspect. So, yeah, I don't know. The joke US can make. But yeah, I went to elementary school in the United States. So, for those who don't know, because I know I talk about this a lot, I used to live in the US, then I moved to Spain in second grade, it would have been for the US, and then afterwards moved to the UK. So that's why I never received an Amber Alert before, because by the time that I had my first phone, I was not in the jurisdiction where Amber Alerts happen. Yeah, but so I do remember elementary school in the US specifically. That's where I'm like drawing my references from. Because yeah, I feel like I might have like asked these kinds of questions at the time, like what if someone's just trapped like in the halls themselves and they need to get into a room to hide under the very, very safe underneath of desks, of course, you know, that place. And I don't remember the answer, so I didn't bathrooms at any room that wasn't locked. Which now that you're saying that, the idea of yeah, not locking the bathrooms also. I mean, okay, again, there definitely are like just no good options, to be honest, because if you do lock all the areas, then you know then people can't get them to hide. If you leave certain areas unlocked and the shooter knows about them, then they're going to be able to just go into the place and get them. If they're not targeting specific people for whatever reason. I don't know. Well, one of those things that it's like, yeah, I mean, what do you do to some extent? I guess they had to tell us something to reassure us back in the day, but yeah, I mean, the fact that I at 5 was questioning that kind of thing does make you think, or rather, made me think, and now you. I don't know. Plants. That there you go. Yeah, get back behind some plants. Unfortunately, Purplehead Girl is way too tall to hide behind those plants, but good attempt.
What the hell is that thing?
Case in point.
This is ridiculous! The second I'm skipping class, there's a lockdown! Why? Why did you have to curse me? Not even with all the wealth in the world, I can't buy luck!
Wait, actually, honestly, this actually kind of seems like a good main character for a survival, horror series of some kind. Because, you think about like that, like their entitlement is what like led them to be saved, and they have survivor's guilt for the rest of the time. I mean, yeah. So my classmates goes I use my violin, carry as a defense, and take out the violin before I used it. A good precaution. Fair enough.
It's...
I could always have used my guitar case and kept the guitar in because the case was just a bag.
fine. No one's gonna know I'm up here. Or are they?
Another thing as well is that I would say have like some sort of like echo filter, some sort of echo so you can have a person's thoughts sound like thoughts. That's just universal cinema, something like that basically. Yeah, so I think that's it. Then that's the video. Okay, someone's playing around with their with their sound pad for making music rather than a heartbeat. But close enough. All right, so I guess whichever thing decide to go to the roof of all places. It seems like there is something supernatural going on here. Because, again, Gianna said, what is that thing, rather than who is that, so it does seem to be the case that whatever's attacking them is possibly not of this earth. So I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the setup of this as well. The only thing is that it reminds me a little bit of Apocalypse, like the you-know-who rated series that we actually agreed was, a good underrated gacha project to put forward. Yeah, the I was gonna say, yeah, the it reminds me of that because the first episode was all about the build up and leading into the apocalypse itself, but it also introduced us to the main characters, who we're supposed to actually follow. In this one, I've already forgotten. It's been, the video is only 2 minutes long, and I've already forgotten who I met at the start. There was Miss Claire, because we stopped to talk about how tall she was, but who is she talking to? The one I remember is the classic rich girl who presumably just died. And also Jenna, who also presumably just died. Like, no one's particularly oh, wait, no, there's the guy who wanted to confess to a particular crush of some kind, who possibly also just died. I don't know. Which, now that I think about it, everyone else went to the exam hall. Oh, they're all taking a test while this thing is on a rampage. That might be why there's only a certain few survivors. If that is the case, then that's pretty genius. I don't know. Maybe I think there are, again, this came out in January, so there probably are other episodes considering the length of this thing. So I don't know. We'll check on that some other time. If anything, if the episodes do exist, they're probably also on the playlist somewhere. So I will have a look around for them. Probably should have done that today. Actually, I could have doubled this up with more of its own kind. I think that would have made way more sense. My I already made the thumbnail and branding though, so it's yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the voice acting in this could have used, a few retakes, particularly. That's on the director's side of things. If someone makes a mistake, but you're like, there in the editing department, like, correct it. Obviously, people try to, read things accurately, but things do happen. It's up to the director to pick up on that, or for one of the editors to point this thing out if they're not the same person. Usually with Gacha videos, it is the same person, but you know what I mean. I talk about like mic balancing, but I don't know how much this person knows about like audio balancing. I'll definitely say volume-wise, turn down the crowd sounds. It's good to have them, absolutely. I love using those, but take it from somebody who's made this mistake a lot of times. You don't want it to overpower what the other person is saying, and you also don't want to crank them up to overpower the overpowering. That would just, overwhelm people from, audio stimulus. Yeah, other than, again, the guy confessing to, like, the crush or something, and Kiara, who is, encouraging him, I don't really remember anything about, like, any other characters. I'm not sure who's, like, supposed to survive. We get, like, a brief encounter with them, but I don't really know them or identify with their struggles, like, want to rate them, to root for them to survive, which is what you really want in a setup like this. You want to have people who you're sad to see when they go, and happy when they succeed. That's the essence of following a character on their journey. Is understanding them to some degree, and we don't understand anyone. I barely remember that they existed. Episode 2 came out 6 months ago. So if there's only episode 2, then I can always just, play that one now, honestly. I'll download it now, and then we'll continue that, and then we'll watch Hillside High directly afterwards, I think. Because, yeah, if there's one more episode, might as well. Yeah, give me a second, because running low on processing speed today, so gotta deal with that. Okay, here we go. Starlight Academy episode 2. I can already tell the audio balance is about the same as before. So let's see. Waiting for it to load. Now the download is not responding. Gotta wait for that to load as well. You know what? While that does its thing, let's watch Hillside High, so there's no dead air. Hillside High. Hillside High. Oh, and of course it doesn't load either. I'm not doing so well on all these fronts today. Although I will say already that the shape of that video, the aspect ratio, seems very off to me. For reasons currently unknown, but we'll check them. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Hillside High, Episode 1, How to Get a Guy.
Oh, there he is.
Aiden's gonna regret missing this one. Oh, wow. Bon? Was that you? That was, eerie.
Standing in the middle of the hall like he doesn't know his name. Dude, what's my next class? What do I do? Should I stand here until he notices me? Hopefully.
I mean, he is delightfully spaced out right now. He is as spaced out as Noah in Running With You.
He doesn't think that's low-key creepy.
Well, he won't know how long you've been there to notice you, so you should be fine, to be honest. But I also recommend not doing that. If anything, if he's confused about his own name or is lost and such something, help him find himself.
Nah, what's this creep doing? Oh god, he's so hot.
And now you messed it up. Well
He
done.
looks even better when I'm not looking at him through a window. What do you want?
Okay, this is interesting. That pause there says to me that this video was fully edited first, and then like and then the voice actors were like given their lines like afterwards. I feel like, yeah, that definitely was not that should have been like a full thought, you would think, right? Like, what do you want rather than what do you want? So does that mean that the silent version was done first while the voice actors were still, sending in their lines, and then you put them over? I guess for a time crunch, that's probably quite good to do. But for actual, but in actual practicality, it feels very disjointed. Actually, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. Let me know what you lot think. He's out of the world and out of the solar system. Well, there's a pickup line right there, at least.
Hi. Hi, Nelly. Can I ask you a question? No. Oh, there's kerosene.
By the way, just the slight off topic, by the way, yeah, the impactful joke concerning how she died, that's fantastic. I will say that since Yuri, the whole point of her story is like, what happens like after she dies, don't worry about making the death like so emotionally impactful, emotionally, at the beginning, because like she's the ghost girl, she's gonna have her afterlife, and that's where we get to know her character, which is the same as when she was alive, but but she has a different obstacle now, or obstacles. So that's where you get like more of the impact. So don't stress about that part too much, because that's the inciting incident rather than the end point, like it is for characters in Starlight Academy. Okay, continuing.
Did he just leave me?
For an edgy
Wait.
freak.
I can't take this. I don't want to have to go this far.
Okay, I'm guessing that. Does that mean? Wait, hold on. Okay, I guess the voice actor missed out a line and the director might have filled in. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. Also, this video could use a little bit of music, I think. It's very, very eerily silent.
But if I have to, I will literally murder. Hey, Tony. What are you doing loitering?
Oh, I think maybe like one of the actors improvised a little bit, or was, or it's a classic thing of like on a Josiah Snyder video where the captions aren't the same for YouTube censorship. Okay.
In the halls. Oh, hi, Hudson. You scared me. Everything scares you, dude. Anyway, why do you look so sad? It's just Nelly keeps ignoring me. I don't know how to get him to like me. Okay, dude, let me help you. First thing to do, aka the only thing to do. Since you're always around him, why not try reverse psychologying that mofo?
Yeah, this definitely shows me that the voice actors are allowed to ad-lib, and they've already seen the whole video.
Ignoring him, and then he'll fall madly in love with you.
Oh no, it's the soccer advice. Act aloof. See how that works. Yeah, okay.
Because everyone wants what they can't have. So, play hard to get and it'll trick his mind into wanting me because he can't bag me? Yeah.
Like that you say like can't bag me so like unironically. That's fantastic.
Then you'll have everything you want, Twink.
There's like a spoof or satire, because how it's edited, as people voice over a random Gacha video and make fun of it. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of like the first Wiz Gaming dub that we saw. Not the ones where it was like all, like all the more by himself, and like all that annoying soundtrack and everything, and Tessa Brooks gets brought up. Not those. I mean like the Fartnado video specifically. It feels like that. And yeah, to be honest, I keep thinking that would be like a really fun thing to do at some point for some other gacha videos, respectfully, of course.
Thank you, Hudson. You're so smart. Don't get all happy with me, Twink. Go ignore Nelly. This idiot's so gonna go to jail.
Also, you can ignore someone much more easily if you're not there with them.
Anyway, That kid's Nellie's problem now. I gotta find the candy dealer. Yeah, then I backed out of the parking spot, and I literally think I hit somebody with my mom's car, which is not good because— oh, nah.
Oh my goodness. One thing that I do miss about Musical Season 1 is the fact that, like, there's that, ad-libs and like, mistakes or just, like, off things that happen in, like, the recording space. I don't get as many of them anymore because of how I don't, like, direct people in person anymore. Or not in person, I mean, like, on call anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I do love the voice actor input when it's appropriate to do so. Like then, when it just says yap, yap, yap. I would also have just the words yap, 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 but that works too.
What the heck? Did he just ignore me? Now who's gonna stop Nellie from bothering me? Now
I appreciate the fact that the audio tracks are layered over each other and they said different things.
no one can stop me from bothering Kerosene. Whoop whoop.
Kerosene or cursing? That said
Oh
cursing.
my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Did that work? He looked at me. Ugh, my knees are weak. I'm feeling lightheaded.
My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on my sweater already. Mum's spaghetti.
Thud. Oh shit. Ugh. Oh my gosh, I must have died. There's no way Nellie would be in here with me.
Oh, and this is where, yeah, say things out loud. That's how you get the guy, I suppose. This series has 17 episodes. Episode 17 only came out 6 days ago. They all seem very short. Well, in that case, we will pair up some of the other episodes of this at a later date, I think. So we can, give it its own slot. Which is interesting, because also, because I guess there's 17 episodes, also the same episode count as the Precure series that we watched a while ago, and I also need to catch up on. And they're actually funny with the deadpan voices. I mean, the deadpan humor definitely helps with this. I've criticized, voice actors for not being so expressive at times. Deadpan voices work in certain contexts, and it works here, I think. Not because I mean, it seems like everyone is also doing it, so it just kind of like sets the tone throughout. Yeah.
Alone in a room with no cameras and a perfectly comfy bed big enough for two. Dude, what the heck? Don't get all freaky on me. This is the last time I save you from being trampled. Oh my gosh.
From being trampled? But you just tripped, right?
Please save me. Yeah, I'm gone. I gotta go find Kerosene.
Yeah, if you close your eyes and imagine he says I gotta go find kerosene, it sounds like he's gonna set himself on fire.
Hudson was right. He's so smart. I wonder how he knows all that.
I mean, the question is, would Nellie have done that regardless if he saw you trip? That's the real question here. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, so I just made some BS up and he went along with it. Dude, how is he not gone to jail yet? There's a lot of people here
Because he went to the hospital instead, of course.
that I wonder about. Like, you're telling me Ivy isn't in an assisted living? And like, why isn't Genevieve in a cult?
Because no one's figured out how to manipulate her yet, I suppose. I don't
She
know.
is in a cult?
That's it, I guess. A person we don't know is not in a cult. Okay, so not the best ending, I wouldn't have thought. Weird enough, I think the best humor came from the actors more so than from the writing. It's kind of like the ghost stories of Gacha dubs, I think, to be honest. Just without the fact that you have to have the captions on screen and follow along slightly with it. So yeah, it was so sudden. Yeah, that doesn't feel like an ending. I was with it like up until like that last scene where it's like, I mean, I feel like maybe if we like cut that off as like, Hudson is so wise, and he just went, yeah, I just made it up, and he went along with it, and then cut it there, that would have been hysterical, I think. No need to I guess establish that, or maybe it was meant to be like foreshadowing. Maybe that was the idea for all these different people, and maybe like Genevieve and her non-cult status are going to come into play directly in the next episode. Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, surprisingly for this video, I don't often say that the voice acting is the best part of a particular gacha video. But I think with this one, it honestly is. Because there's not much in the way of sound editing from, anyone's perspective. The story is very bare bones, and it seems like people were able to ad-lib and pick up on that. So, yeah, kudos to the cast particularly, I suppose, with this one. Although, yeah, it definitely feels like there's a lot of, like, established backstory with these particular characters. And I'm not so much a fan of it all being, like, done exposition, finding out, like, how crazy, like, the main character is and how he shouldn't be, and people saying, oh, he shouldn't be in jail and whatever because they set up all the things he's done. I don't know. But yeah, so aside from that, yeah, I'm vibing with the rest of it. So I guess we'll go back to Starlight Academy now and see what's going on with, that horror thing that we don't know anything about. It's definitely loaded by now, so let's bring it on in if I can actually... I don't know why Starlight Academy specifically is not the things that loaded, but Hillside High did. I don't know. I don't get that.
How do I get out of the exam hall? There's no...
And it won't go off the screen for some reason. There we go. Alright. There's the bad sound editing and static audio that we were so used to before. Let's go.
How do I get out of the exam hall?
Made by a teenager, don't expect much, all hate will be deleted. Well, what we say here, we have to hold everything to the same standard. It's also in Gacha Fest, so, that's how it goes.
There's no shooting and no knife stabbing. From the sound of the blood and screams, it's not human.
Thinking about leaving already, Celestia?
How would I even...
Well, I mean, everyone is thinking about leaving, I assume, because they want to be safe, I would have thought.
get out without being caught?
You've snuck out of class a handful of times. Why is the exam hall any different?
Dumb.
Okay, that I've not seen much use out of the angle, like the rotation option in Gacha before. So I do like that if I just was you rolling on the ground like that. Oh, that's cool.
Mars, we're in a lockdown.
This is so boring.
I guess Tulip's VA didn't want to do some Foley for snoring, even no one likes literally snoring. But okay, sure. All right then. Some stock audio would have also worked here.
What time is it? My phone's dead. The clock says 8:54. I'm late. Amazing.
I get the lethargy of this. So, this is probably the best performance I've heard so far. I feel like, actually.
But it's dark out. What the actual hell is that outside? What?
Okay, never mind. Feel like that could have been a little bit more, a little bit loud, a little bit more panicked if it's meant to be in all caps and that big.
It's so dark.
Oh yeah, custom backer pop. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the watermark says the same things, but I guess it's been altered design-wise. Still don't get why the handle is promoted up there, considering that this is on the same channel, but I've already talked about that, so... Yeah.
Hello?
Not that dark, actually. You can make the backgrounds much darker from Gacha Club onwards.
Is anyone there? Hello?
Not to mention, in Gacha Life 2, you can actually just, like, make part of it dark. I haven't done this myself because most of the time I darken backgrounds it's done in post nowadays. But you can just have, like, the top third or the top half or even, like, the half in the middle or something, and like have it be done like that if you want to, suggest like further darkness if you really wanted to. So there's more options than just going with vague, vague, like filter with like slight with toned down opacity nowadays.
Oh. Hello, Cherry. Do you know why it's suddenly so dark? Not.
Okay, that is a tall individual. Miss Claire was one thing, but, person on the right, oh my. Person in the middle, actually, is also very stylish.
Really, but I have a feeling it's not a good thing. You're mostly right.
See, that wasn't altered for the VA's sake, because it doesn't make sense that you're mostly right if you're saying you're most likely right, because that's two different things. Wow.
Jerry.
Okay. Oh, I guess Dayan doesn't get any lines. Good to
Ew,
know.
what the hell? The thing! Behind you! It left. Dayan, carry her.
I guess you're not going to help. Good to know. I know you're stylish, but still. You can afford a little bit of blood on your robes, dress, coat, whatever that is.
Stop overthinking it, Minji. Cherry will be fine. Cherry has to be fine. She's okay. Cherry, does anywhere hurt? I'll be okay.
Does anywhere else hurt? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Minji's VA should have read the script a little bit more closely.
I see something outside. It isn't good.
What do you mean?
I don't get it.
What's there not to get? She saw something outside doesn't look good. What was difficult to understand about that sentence? VA got fired. Then replace them. Get someone else to do it. Recast the character. Voice it yourself if you're feeling confident enough. Don't just think, VA got fired. Come on. I have fired some of my VAs in the past. I just get new ones.
So noisy.
Hey, Xandra, let's
Oh, hey, Hinata's still alive.
play a game.
Again, I forgot about her. Look how colorful she is, and I forgot all about her existence. The second she was off camera. That should show you that these characters are not developed.
Hinata, it's not the time for your silly game. It's a real lockdown.
Miss May's right.
You guys, shut up.
Guys, shut up. It's me. I'm smiling when I say this, but there's a blind fury behind me. That's more of an issue on the person who filmed this, making the character smile for some reason rather than on VA, but still.
Food. I'm late for school, but it's whatever.
Monica, get your ass to school now.
Sorry.
I'm seeing the lazy teenager part of this. Just a bunch of hashtags. I think that was meant to be like people's handles, but they're not @, so it doesn't work. I don't know. Okay, I'm getting the sense that like none of the male characters have any VAs because I guess no male VAs were cast in the making of this. Wait, no, that's not right because edgy guy from before wanted to confess the crush. He talked, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of stupid to do that, especially in the middle of a lockdown. They're gonna get shot or something. Maybe we should shut up.
I can't believe you made me go with you.
Oh. Well, another comparison to Apocalypse. I said that when we eventually did see the zombies, they were an incredible letdown because of how they were built up so much. The one thing that this show has done thus far that was, on the right track, I think, was build up this creature. And now it just shows up and just kind of like, okay, I guess that thing exists. It's covered in bandages and can't see and can't move that quickly. How is this thing, killing anyone, quite frankly? I don't know. Oh, the script is just a bunch of... Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Well, in that case, credit your voice actors. Jeez. Even, you know, not the one who got fired, but still.
Am I wrong for wanting to be safe?
Am I wrong for wanting to... Hold... Jeez. Oh, stay safe.
Wrong for wanting to be safe. Hey, you hear that?
Okay, so here's another thing as well. I appreciate, you know, not that I'm a fan of like how tall all these characters actually are. It feels like they've got, you know, like as far as like legs to torso proportions go, they are extremely off a lot of the time. Maybe that's meant to be like deliberate. That being said, the heads are a better dimension this time. I feel like they've adjusted the torsos and everything else accordingly. That's not what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is actually relating to the heads a little bit. The one subscription is join our Discord server. Yeah, promote yourself, but not your actors. Yeah, great. Fantastic work ethic right there. Anyway, what was I? Yeah, so it was about the heads basically. If you're gonna have characters that are different heights to each other, like dramatically on screen together, that's fine to do. But if you're doing that in Gacha Club or Gacha Life 2, this is Gacha Life 2, obviously, so, you know, this applies. Tilt the heads, rotate them so they can look at each other. You know? Otherwise, one of them is just staring at the other one's neck, I suppose, and the other one's staring at, you know, just the flower on her head. There's only so much you can do. When you can also adjust the eyes and have, like, the same effect. I personally, you know, opt for a combination of both, but one or the other still works. The problem is, like, with eyes this small, it's very hard to tell, so you're going to want to do the head method, I think. Full description of separate different message you so YouTube lessons limits. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright. I hate Capcom for everything I have a watermark. Yeah, you clearly hate watermarks, don't you, Lemon?
Yeah, so like... Yeah, the lockdown isn't...
Yeah, see like how that thing went down? That's... Maybe it's not the main threat. Maybe it's something else, I suppose.
It's definitely not a shooting, but rather those creatures.
Ah, there's more of them. That makes more sense. Yeah, one of those things, not so deadly. Several of them, I can see it. I get it. Yeah.
Celestia?
That being said, where'd you get a weapon from? This is the problem. We haven't established anything about this school. I mean, it's called Starlight Academy. I assumed it had something supernatural about it. But the thing is, like, now we're establishing that everyone is already... Everyone has, like, an option for something supernatural to happen here. You know, they're trained, like, some, like, weaponry at the very least, or maybe, like, Mei does. But that shows it's a concept in this world. That kind of, like, diminishes the impact a little bit of those things showing up out of nowhere and seeming to take over everything. You think that for a school that houses, you know, that deals in supernatural stuff, that would have a bit more security against this kind of thing. Because, again, they don't seem that threatening. If you can just stab them once and they're crawling on the ground, that's it. Come on.
You remember the other language, right? Come over by my house, and we'll find about these creatures in my library.
The other language is actually kind of an interesting fantasy term. I remember that one of my first books that I wrote, I actually had, you know, the dark magic that was in the book, like, actually be spelled in reverse, with a few exceptions, because certain concepts are so dark that they don't have a light equivalent, and therefore they're just spelled normally to emphasize them. But most of the time, that's just how it goes. So... Okay, what was I saying? Oh wow, I forgot. I forgot completely. Oh yes. So the other language is an idea like, oh yeah, okay, something connecting to the nature of their magic. Sure. It's like how certain dystopian terms or certain terms take on new meanings inside dystopian novels.
Oh, hell no, man! I am not going to school. Especially not like this. The hell?
That reminds me of the Smosh sketch when Disney bought Star Wars well, it wasn't when Disney bought Star Wars, but it was in response to that sometime later. And they just like cast like Chris Tucker as C-3PO or something for some reason. Not sure what Chris Tucker's doing with Disney specifically, but there you go.
It moves!
Well, it wasn't a statue, was it? But hey, at least, it's able to stand on its own 2 feet. That's more than some have done.
The door's locked, so we'll most likely be fine, right?
We're fine.
Since the door's locked, we will most likely be fine.
3 lines to establish the door is locked and they'll most likely be fine. 2 of which are basically identical.
Eve, you're worried, aren't you?
Just a bit.
Who isn't worried? If someone isn't worried in the middle of an actual lockdown where they can hear people being, bleeding to death in the halls, they're an idiot.
I never knew that there was a garden at the back of the library.
I've never seen a garden behind the library. Maybe we should take a walk by there sometime.
Why not now?
Because you're in a lockdown. The point is that everything is locked, correct?
Okay, but if we die, it's your fault, so I never get to confess to her.
It's your fault that you never get to confess to.
It's a little dark outside. It's kind of concerning, don't you think so?
Emphasis on a little dark. It's actually not that dark overall, but I said that earlier. I appreciate the signs at least, and the decoration around everything, and the unfortunately ineffective plants. But hey, it was a nice attempt.
We're gonna be fine, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna be okay.
I thought it was the next day or something. Well, yeah, why would it be the next... Oh, wait a minute, she's alive? I thought she'd also... Okay. Oh, that's the sound we heard last time, was the bottle of water being destroyed. Okay. Maybe there is hope in this character.
What is your problem? You ruined a perfectly fine bottle of water. It literally...
Let me just stand here and just not react at all. I'm gonna wait for you to stop talking. He's not smart horror protagonist. That's how we get horror movies, though. Well, yeah, but you also have not smart horror antagonist either. Everyone's an idiot, I guess.
Drenched my skirt. Stupid creature. Ugh.
And it leaves, I guess. Was she too annoying to kill? Really? Okay. Or is water or was water their weakness? If that's the case, then the same thing I say that Nostalgia Critic said in Signs. Why would they invade a planet that's mostly covered in water if their weakness is water? Okay. And yeah, new strategy unlocked. Exactly. Yeah, just wait for it to rain. Invasion over. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a good performance moment right there. And a good character moment too, to show that she actually does have a facade that can in fact break.
Think Celestia, a much shorter woman than May, could forcefully push then drag her out.
Yeah, you can see also, again, the character who just can't sit still and is using the angles to convey that. Again, a different, unique thing. Yeah, with Gacha angles, they always like pivot around like the foot or something. That's why it looks like that.
She's strong or something. It's all whatever. All I know is that they're really stupid.
Oh, well, they'll fit right in then, won't they?
Hey, I'm not schizophrenic, right?
You're asking somebody if you're schizophrenic, if you were schizophrenic, they would be asking you for confirmation of that, because you're the one who would know about your diagnosis of schizophrenia. Like, what even was that?
It was a gunshot.
The door is broken now. We can leave.
Tiny, wait, don't scroll yet. I need voice actors. Yeah, well, you need a director. That's one thing you need. Because with voice actors, you can double them up in theory, especially for a cast that is this large. I would suggest doing so. You know, not that if you're still looking for voice actors, I can't send some your way, because I absolutely can. But you know, but still.
Hey, does anyone else hear that?
Oh, okay, no word on like where to go for voice actors or anything. Just, oh, I guess that's why the promotion is in the description. Okay, fair enough. Hey, if you actually credit the voice actors, they might, might be likely to show up and be a part of what you do. Just saying.
Or am I delusional?
Yeah, I hear that too, Luna. But it's
Yeah, there you go. Asking if someone's delusional is better than just like being like, hey, am I schizophrenic? Do you know about my medical diagnosis?
okay. We're gonna be fine.
Who knows? Maybe we'll die. I shouldn't take something negatively. At least not a situation like this.
Camp.
Again, please get your VAs to do retakes at least.
Believe
They'll still work with you.
There's a lockdown. Never in my life would I think I would be in one. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think there's any kids in danger.
Some of them have died, so you're wrong.
Everything will be okay. If there's any casualties, we'll all mourn them. Please.
Oh, is that it? Is that it? Yeah. If anyone died, let's mourn them. Yeah, no harm done. We'll have a joint funeral service. Big old party to celebrate the survivors. Yeah, that's it. That's all you really need in this situation. Yeah, well, what's a good old apocalypse among friends, am I right?
Lord, save us all.
You 3 or 4, I don't care. Go now. Number 134 is already dead. Isn't that interesting how it hasn't been an hour?
Wanna be a VA?
There we go.
Okay, join Starlight Academy today. Auditions open for main characters, side characters, fairies, gods, and more.
Interesting, and for fairies and gods. Okay, clearly there are some other plans that are, in motion here. Again, great the VAs, and they'll flock to you, like moths to whatever passes for a flame in these parts. I don't know. And there's the watermark. Okay. So, that is, I guess, Starlight Academy up until this point, and also Hillside High. A lot of us was about Starlight Academy here still applies, because it's roughly the same. One thing I think that has improved from the first episode is the music. There's actual, atmospheric, tension and from the music itself. And it's not overwhelming from the crowd sound effects were in the first one. There are notably not any crowd sounds that I could pick out this time. That might be because all the crowds have gone now, They all went to that exam hall and have died. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, again, still not 100%. Maybe I'll have some honey lemon after this. I was saving some for tomorrow because I might need it because I'll be singing in rehearsal. Anyway, I think that is mostly it. There was some good moments in here for the voice actors, but obviously there's only so much the voice actors can carry on their own without someone to oversee them, basically. So again, the real issue is from the directorial side of things, a lot of that needs to step up. The story, by the way, has stepped up a little bit now that things are getting going. you know, we see something else that's going on. But I would love some more world building of some kind. Although it might be a bit too late now, because that now we'll just have to come in through like unnatural sounding exposition. So yeah, maybe world building won't actually work anymore. I don't know. That boat might have sailed. If there are other supernatural, you know, powers and or weapons or something, then people should be able to use them. And if they don't have them, then, you know, why don't they? And why is Mei unique in that aspect? It seems like 134 is the only one that seems to have been slain so far, which means that Mei might be a rare case, but I don't know. What was the plot? I understood nothing. Well, the plot is that a bunch of creatures are taking over the school and are slaughtering everyone, and the characters are scrambling. Which is mostly it. Again, we don't see... We see a bit more of the characters, I guess because no one really... Yeah, because no one we saw has, like, died in this one, so... I guess. Yeah, I mean, a few more locations inside the school itself. At some point, I guess the survivors are all going to come together and form a plan, and rather than just, you know, scramble and not do much. But hey, if they get access to some of those like cool weapons or something, then, you know, the more the merrier. They'll need to, like, someone needs to, you know, send a beacon to alert people for help or whatever. I don't quite know. Something along those lines. That's what you would need. But yeah, I think that's basically it. So with that in mind, another shortest video, they end up being around an hour if you account for the 40 minutes of me to actually start this thing. So thanks everyone for watching. Please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And subscribe if you haven't already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.